All right, week 4 update. And honestly, this morning I was kind of discouraged. I just kind of a recap of my week. I had a really good week, nutrition wise. There wasn't a single day where I felt like I went crazy or cheated. I ate pretty much 100% whole foods. I didn't have any little cheat meals in there, things like that. And then the scale this morning was 221.3. So last week, if you remember on Thursday, I was 222. And then when I actually weighed in on Friday, I was 223.7. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm down. But I think I had this maybe false sense of expectation. For some reason, 220 pounds has become like this magic number in my mind. Even though like my goal is so much lower than that, for some reason 220 is just like, man, if I can get over that barrier, that roadblock, then everything will be good. And I know it won't, because there'll be another number that I want to hit and all of that. But I think like these false expectations that I set in my mind can be really, really difficult. I was talking to someone the other day, and part of it I just think is our culture today. Everything is so fast and instantaneous. I needed something the other day, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go to the store. I don't want to take the time to drive over there, da 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 da. And so I got on Amazon, and what I wanted I could get overnight. And it would be here before noon the next day. And I kind of think that mentality goes into my weight loss too. That it's almost like, hey, if I could just pay $150 a year to have a Prime subscription to weight loss, and I just, hey, overnight everything is down to where I want it to be. And I know if that were the case, like we wouldn't have the problems we have in our country with being overweight. I wouldn't have a problem with weighing more than I probably should. So, not probably should, I'd weigh more than I should. But it's those expectations that it's like, hey, I want to be 220 pounds. And at the end of the day, if I weigh 221 pounds, that's 8 pounds in 4 weeks, which is 2 pounds a week, which is really a healthy and sustainable weight loss measure. But when what really set it a better picture for me, I guess, was I was looking through my old Garmin data. And in March of this year, I was 238 pounds. And so if I go by those metrics, looking back, and of course it's a longer period of time, and I had that period where I dropped down to 230-ish and was being fairly consistent, and then I just fell off, and so that's where kind of the whole starting over again thing came from. Now I'm 17 pounds down from March. That's great. I want it to be more, but I haven't been consistent long enough. And it's kind of like investing, I guess. Right now, the last several years, we've become a lot more concerned about saving for retirement. And looking back and thinking, man, I wish we had done more earlier, just because of the way that it compounds, that it just showing up every day continues to compound. And so I think this is one of those things. One, I think God is maybe teaching me patience. Like you have to slow down, that everything is okay, that faithfulness isn't what you do one time, it's what you do continually over a long period of time. that just keep showing up every day and doing, because like I said last week, I'm seeing all of the signs that I want to see. My clothes are fitting better. I'm to I've into my third belt loop, or my belt hole, I guess, when I was on one. So things are going in the right direction. I know they are. I really, really, really want to hit 220 this week. And at times I'm tempted to just be like, well, I'll just skip a few meals the day before I weigh in so that the number goes there. But that doesn't give me a real honest picture of where I am, because the scale might be there for the day, but then I add back in my food the next day and it'll go back up. And so it's putting a block on top of the other every single day, putting another brick down, doing the work. The injury's getting better and better. I'm able to do more and more. I did some body weight lunges and step ups this week. I did box jumps this week. And none of those things are really bothering it. There's a few things where I feel it, but it's not in a way that worries me that I'm going to hurt it worse. My plan tomorrow is to try to reintroduce running a little bit. My worry is not running, it's the fatigue that the muscles will experience as I run. And so I'm going to do some modified run and walk to just kind of ease back in, to hopefully build up. Really, the hip flexor muscle is what bothers me when I run now. My groin is not terribly bad on anything really now. I feel it if I twinge or do something or slip, but most things other than like a heavy, if I were to do a heavier lunge, I think that would bother it. But most things now are getting where they're a little bit better. So it's just, again, stacking bricks one day at a time. 221.3 this morning. This week I've been as low as 220.4 and as high as 221.6. So that's why I think in my mind, a couple days ago I was 220.4. I think I had in my mind that even though I was up to like 221.4 yesterday, or 5 I think yesterday, I just knew today was going to be below 220. It wasn't, so I guess I'll keep stacking bricks, back at work, continuing to eat right, making good decisions, and that's this week's update. I'll check in next week.